Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here recording Wednesday, December 4th, the day of the Celtics game against the Pistons, the Sam
Our
Bowl.
Pistons.
We're here, ready to rock. How you doing, Sam? You must be excited.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see the Pistons in person. They've been a lot more fun to watch this year. They're on a 2-game losing streak heading in. They just lost to Milwaukee in the NBA Cup. But it still should be a fun game. Last year, the game in December was a lot of fun. Not that the time of year really matters for the game history, but we have a really fun show for you guys today. We'll have the game recap in here for you. We'll have some rumors around the NBA. We'll have an update on the NBA Cup. We'll have a standings update. And we'll do the rat list. Make sure you stick around, leave a like, comment. Tell us what you thought of Celtics Pistons. Subscribe. Hit the bell because we're here every single day. New content, pods, Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday game recaps, morning after, and other videos in between.
Yes. Before we get into Celtics Pistons, though, just a little update information. Since the Celtics did not advance in the NBA Cup, they did get 2 extra games added to their schedule. Every team gets these games, but the Celtics had to have theirs added on because they didn't go to the Cup. Thursday, December 12th, will be Pistons at Celtics. And then Sunday, December 15th, will be Celtics at Wizards. So 2 extra games. Pistons, Wizards. Not a bad draw if you're the Celtics.
Not at all. I was a little not worried, but I was like, man, they really might have to play Cleveland again. And while that would be really good for content, it would be really good for early season excitement. I don't think the team. Well, that's not fair to put on them. I think the team would much rather play the Pistons and Wizards. We'll put it that way.
Well, I think it's because they already played the Cavs 4 times, and so they weren't going to go to that. So, good draw. But anyways, speaking of the Pistons, let's go over to a recap of that game right now. All right, we are here after Celtics Pistons. Sam on the injury report, hurt his back. He's actually in real pain, so wishes to Sam. He's not in the best state. So I have stolen Mr. Cam Tabatabai of Celtics Wire and the Celtics Lab podcast. I think I have a thing for you. Yeah,
nice.
His name off for you. But Celtics beat the Pistons in, I don't know if it was wire to wire, but it felt like wire to wire.
It was
130 to 120. Final score was wire to wire. Thank you very much. Tatum out, Drew Holiday out, Jaylen Brown, Kristaps Porzingis, and a late surge from Payton Pritchard got the job done alongside a Sam Hauser 3-point barrage. Good win for the Celtics. Felt a little weird at times because the Pistons shot 51% from 3, but Boston got the job done in the end. Initial thoughts on the game, Cam, just in general.
It's one of those things where the Pistons did get it within 6. Not that it was ever really in doubt, but a game that the Celtics were just dog walking them, kind of got away from them. Part of that was they were just forcing so many turnovers early and hitting so many threes early. And then in the third and fourth quarter, Boston forced decidedly fewer turnovers. I think the Pistons were playing a little bit better, but I think Boston was a little less aggressive. And then, the Pistons started lighting it up. I mean, they were, I actually don't know the splits by the half, but they shooting lights out in the second half. So part of me thinks it's a nothing burger. They won pretty handily. The line was 12 points and they won by 10. But I also kind of think they don't win if Payton Pritchard doesn't kind of lock down the game for them. I didn't really mean to ask Joe about that, but I, in so many ways, asked Joe about that post game, and he didn't really tip his hand. But I wonder if he would agree that if Payton Pritchard doesn't kind of slow down and steady the offense and generate a few threes and steal away some offensive rebounds, if the Celtics choke away this one. So, look, it's game 3 of 5 that they're going to play in a week. Expecting them to be super duper polished, especially with Tatum and Holiday out, we're very lucky to hold them to such a high standard. But the Pistons did get it within 6 in the fourth quarter. That's worth noting.
Yeah, it felt like no matter how close the Pistons got, it felt like the Celtics were never going to lose this game. That's the vibe that I got.
That's the whole season, isn't it?
I know. Even the Hawks game, I was like, oh, Jalen's going to hit the shot at the end of the game. It always feels like they're going to win, but they did in this one. Jaylen played well in the first half, wasn't very efficient in the second half, but 9 assists, 3 steals, was hustling his ass off on the defensive end. I was impressed with the way he played with Tatum out. Obviously, it's a very Tatum stat line, 28, 6, and 9. Not that he is incapable of doing that, but usually you don't see Jaylen Brown with the wildly high assist games. John Corrales was asking about it after the game, et cetera, et cetera. I think it's a testament to his growth. I think 1 for 6 from 3 isn't necessarily indicative of how good he was in this game. I think he was a lot better than 1 of 6 from 3, 11 free throws as well. He definitely gets a better whistle than Jason, right? Am I crazy? He absolutely gets a better whistle than Jason Tatum, even though Tatum takes more free throws. Maybe I'm crazy, but
That's interesting. I hadn't really thought about that. I don't know if I agree because I feel like Jaylen Brown. I mean, yeah, you're saying he does get a better one.
yeah, Jaylen gets the better whistle.
Well, I was going to say Jaylen Brown. I feel like every dunk is an offensive foul that doesn't get called. So I guess I'm inclined to agree.
Also true. Fair. But yeah, Jaylen was really, really good in this game. He impressed me a lot.
Yeah, he did that. He did that thing. I mean, Jason is getting double teamed like basically every play now, and he's become a great passer as a result, which is like what you got to do. Jaylen 9 assists tonight, 11 is his career high, and Porzingis after said, a few of those aren't going to be assists. He had the hockey assists, but he was passing really well. I find it a little embarrassing for Jaylen that he often references his age as like a metric of how mature he is. Like a few years ago, he opened the season by saying, well, I was 24 then, I'm 26 now, and I'm 32, so I'm allowed to say that's a little embarrassing. And tonight he said, I'm 28 now, so he must have a chip on his shoulder that like he is not mature enough, and the knock on him has been that his style of play is not mature enough. I mean, he historically I see where he's coming from. I think just like flagging it as I'm a 28-year-old feels like I'm going to be 9.5. You know what I mean? Like it's a little childish, but like the suggestion that he doesn't turn the ball over and he doesn't only have his head down when he is handling the ball is different than what we've seen from him. So tonight was proof positive that he is a more trustworthy first or 1A option tonight. First option.
Yeah. The age thing is weird now that you say it. I didn't really think about it at the time. I just kind of like, yeah, sure, whatever. What's going on with it?
Well, aren't you?
KP
Are you 28 yet?
No, I'm 25.
So you don't even know what he's talking about.
Yeah, I know.
Imagine,
I have no experience.
Imagine the person you're going to be when you're 28, Jack. You're only 25. Jesus.
Yeah, I'm 25. I feel old. I know you probably won't like me saying that, but I feel old. My sister's graduating college this year, man. That's terrifying.
Yeah, I graduated college 10 years ago, so I'm not that scandalized by that.
Oh, man. KP, also good game in this one. He had 26. More than I thought, actually. 9 rebounds.
Yeah, it didn't feel that.
2 blocks.
It didn't feel like that.
No, it was quiet. I think maybe it was a 7 free throws. He only made 8 shots and 3 threes, but it is weird. Like, maybe this is just a me thing. It's weird watching Kristaps on this team because we watched this version of this team play without him for 20 games. Like, I'm like, every once in a while I look down and be like, who the fuck is that guy? Like, what? Who's this?
Yeah.
Why is he out there? But then I remember, oh yeah, that's just their all-star big man who shoots threes, can post up anybody and blocks a million shots at the rim. That's a pretty good weapon to have. So it's very fun to watch him like add on to what the Celtics already had rolling.
Yeah, you and I talked about this whenever it was the second or third quarter. Porzingis is 2 inches taller than Luke Cornett, and Luke Cornett is the tallest American-born player in the league, or an inch or whatever it is. I forget what it's listed as. He's a little bit taller. Yeah, not only he's a menace. He's a unicorn. He's a complete freak of nature. Going back to Jaylen's point of like, look, I'm 28 now. Kristaps is 29 or something. A lot of I don't know. I'm on this all the time. I think we are so hard on like 22-year-olds and 23-year-olds, and like Kristaps, it's not just like, oh, he's healthy, he's back to who he was. He's the best version of himself he's ever been in the NBA, and now he's on this. Can I swear? This freaking team. It's unbelievable.
You swear all you want. We don't give a shit. You can swear, of course.
Why? I don't want to. You know about that sweet YouTube monetization. I don't want to squeeze
it's
you out
only
of.
you can swear as long as it's not in the first like X amount of seconds of the video.
Oh, I thought it was 10 minutes.
No. It's like 7 seconds, maybe 30 seconds, but it is like
Who's swearing in the first 7 seconds of their YouTube videos?
Morons, idiots.
Sailors.
Well, YouTuber I watched was like saying he had like the chat on the screen, like he like streamed it, and the chat said some stuff, and that got it flagged. So it's like it can be on the screen too, something like that. But yeah, no, fuck it, you can swear as much as you want on the screen. Let's see, going through. You mentioned at the start, Payton Pritchard. This dude's ridiculous, man. Like it is uncanny how he will have relatively quiet game. He hit a few shots, it'll be good, and then the fourth quarter. 4 of 6 from 3, 12 points, 3 rebounds, 2 offensive rebounds, sealed the game. Like just unbelievable. I said this to Sam a few pods ago. There is nobody on the Celtics currently who I think a shot is going in more when they shoot it than Payton Pritchard. Like I have more confidence in Payton Pritchard taking and making a shot than anybody else on this roster. And that's a crazy thing considering the talent the Celtics have on this roster.
You know who also thinks that? Payton Pritchard.
Yeah.
It was one thing when it was, he's the 6th or 7th guy off the bench and no one's guarding him, and he's doing this against bench players in garbage time. He was the bona fide point guard tonight and needed to be. Like, Bobby Krupitsky was on the Celtics Lab podcast this week, and we talked about it's the buzzer beaters and it's the cockiness and whatever. The footwork is extraordinary. The way he breaks guys down is extraordinary. He's strong. His rebounding is out of control. He's 6'1". He's not the fastest guy in the league. He doesn't have unbelievable physical gifts, as best I can tell. He's smart. He's methodical. The way that he has just like blossomed into not just an additive, oh, that's nice, look what he can do in garbage time, to actually the best NBA players in the league don't know what to do with him is extraordinary. Yeah, I'll double down on the thesis. I don't think the Celtics win the game tonight if Payton Pritchard doesn't. I think they choke like dogs if Pritchard doesn't save them.
Payton Pritchard.
Honestly, I'll give you a free transition. They choke like dogs if Hauser doesn't save them in the third quarter.
Monster. Sam Hauser is a monster in this game. Before we transition, I do want to say Payton Pritchard is the second most fourth quarter points on the Celtics this season, which is. Oh wait, is this true? I don't believe this. Oh, it is true because Tatum hasn't played in a lot of fourth quarters because it was like significantly less fourth quarters than Pritchard.
Well,
and I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
That was my preseason take, was Jason Tatum can't win MVP because he's not going to play fourth quarters enough.
He has played in, let's see, Jason Tatum has played in.
So they've had 22 games. He's played in 21 of them.
He's played in 21 games and he's played in 17, or he hasn't played in 4 fourth quarters, which is like pretty.
It's a big chunk of the fourth quarters.
A lot. Yeah. Anyways, Sam Hauser, like you said, monster game, 5 of 10 from 3. Weirdly didn't take a single shot in the fourth quarter. But he huge third, like you said, 3 rebounds, 1 steal. Had a nice transition and 1 as well. That got the TD Garden crowd pumped. So, in what has been a pretty cold shooting season for Sam Hauser, it was nice to see him just light up the building. He
must have listened to the Celtics Lab podcast. I give him a B- or a C+ for the season. I know I wrote this down, 22nd or 23rd career start for Sam Hauser.
Really?
You and I we were talking about that up there, that like
23.
Hauser's a former G League player. Like what they're getting out of this dude is extraordinary. He's the 7th best player, 7th or 8th most important player on a championship team that they kind of like got out of nowhere and got out of the main Celtics is extraordinary value. He puts the ball on the deck. I don't know what it is after tonight before. Oh, Jack, you can see in the background, one of my cats we got a Star Wars advent calendar. Speaking of advent calendars, they give you like a little Star Wars Lego.
Oh, hell yeah.
Which is the only person who likes it more than me is this cat.
What's the cat's name? Which one is that?
I can't tell. It's dark. It's Bubbles. The other one is Omar. They like to.
I do have to quickly do something, which is remind you listening about Prize Picks, because Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long with Prize Picks. Sam and I use the Prize Picks every single pregame show. Noah's seen it on his screen every single time we're running through the picks, having the live chatters. Decide more or less. We love taking the more on opposing players' turnovers. We love taking the more on points, on blocks, all that fun stuff. I love the blocks for Drew Holiday and Derek White because Derek White's going to get one. It adds a little bit of juice to your point when you see it in action. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks is the best way to get action on sports in over 30 states, including California, Florida, Georgia, and Texas. And PrizePicks now offers Venmo for quick and easy deposits and withdrawals into your account this sports season. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. It's cute. I enjoy.
He's eating the plastic. Yeah, so, I mean, the starters all scored in double figures, so the starters definitely helped win the game. Jaylen Brown led all scorers with 28 points or whatever. They don't win without the bench. I guess Hazard started, so he's not a bench player, but the reserves, the depth player, the role players, stepped up huge. Drew Peterson, Jordan Walsh, they weren't great, but they weren't like sieves. It wasn't like the game went off the rails when they came in. And I think that was Drew Peterson's first quarter minutes. It was his 9th NBA game, so small.
I can tell you right now. Let me look. Let me take a look. This year, Drew Peterson has played in 2 first quarters. So it was second first quarter minutes this year. I can't imagine he played in many last year. Let me see. Although he might have gotten in towards the end of the year. He played in 1 first quarter last year. So this is his 3rd ever first quarter minutes.
All right. Pretty good. Yeah. What do you think of the Pistons?
What do I think of the Pistons? I think the Pistons have the framework of an okay basketball team. I think Cade Cunningham's really good. I think he is a turnover machine, which is not very good. I think Tobias Harris shooting 6 of 11 or 6 of 9 from 3 is fake. I think Ron Holland and Marcus Sasser combining to shoot 4 of 6 is fake. So I think they have good players. I think they'll probably be a play-in team, and I think Cade should be an all-star.
But that might be. Oh, I like that. Yeah, if Beasley went 6 of 11 from 3, and he had a bunch down the stretch.
He's having a good season though, so I won't call that fake.
If he and Tobias Harris didn't hit a certain number of threes, in the back half of the game, that wouldn't have ever been close. Tobias Harris took 17 field goals for them. That's the 2nd most on the team. That's just like not. No. They only shot 84 field goals. I guess they had a ton of turnovers. They had 18. Oh, one got taken off the board. Crap! I got to change my game recap. It said 19 at the end of the game. Now it's 18.
The Pistons are whatever. Horford had a sneaky good game. 5 of 7, 4 of 6, 14 points, a block, a steal, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. I feel like that's just kind of like he'll throw one in there every once in a while. He made his shots in rotation. He played good defense. Had a monster block. That was cool. Derek White was very efficient, especially in the second half. He was 4 of 15, 3 of 11, but he had 11 assists in this game, 4 rebounds, 2 steals, 2 blocks. That block on Cunningham, which I did end up seeing, by the way, was
monster.
Sick. So sick. Just unbelievable. He's awesome.
It's fun. I mean, people who watch the show like literally see what we're doing up there, but we're watching the game, but we all have a bunch of tabs open. Some of us are writing, some of us are doing social media, some of us are watching, some of us are doing this, that, and the other. So in any given play, I say there's 5 of us sitting together, 2.5 of us are like dialed in. And so sometimes you don't see a play, you just hear the reaction to the play. And so that
like, wait, what?
So that Derek block on Cade, I think I was standing up watching, because sometimes I like to do that. And I just went, oh. And you and Noah didn't see it, so I had to. I'm glad you finally got to see it, because I
found it on Twitter.
Well, I wasn't overreacting, was I?
No, it was sick. He's unbelievable. Xavier Tillman was really bad. It makes me sad. Dude, he is. I went on a whole rant on our last pod after the Heat game. He is unbelievably in his own head. Like unlike anything I've ever seen. We saw this guy make 60% of his threes in the preseason. He was shooting it without even considering that it might not go
Yeah.
in. And now he's not even taking them. Now he's not even looking at the 3-point line. He just record scratches, and it leads to bad turnovers because he's trying to drive off closeouts, which he's not very good at. His defense has been shaky. I don't know if it's a confidence thing, but we know he can play good defense. We saw it in the finals against Luka. We've seen him play great defense.
Yeah.
Just he's completely a shell of what we saw in the preseason. And I don't get it.
I would hypothesize that maybe he's hurt, but like a little
Maybe.
banged up. Maybe he's not right. I
Maybe.
mean, you were saying he was looking a little stiff walking around. Conditioning's a little off, whatever. And yeah, getting the yips shooting when you have maybe the slowest 3-point release in the league, that's a problem. But
Yeah.
I don't know. He doesn't get consistent burn, so it's just a feedback loop. Like maybe if they spent a week where they were just like featuring him a little bit and he could find his rhythm, but it's an embarrassment of riches. Like Missoula has so many guys that I don't know who asked him to start putting Drew Peterson in the game. The Celtics are like winning pretty handily most of the time, so it's not like he's straining for solutions. But they're 17 deep. Like it's not even other than JD Davis and Jaden Springer. Like, I mean, Jaden Springer can play, I guess. No, he can't. Most of the guys on the team can play.
It is funny because before the season, Sam and I planted our flags, and he was Jaden Springer, and I was Tillman, and now it's
You might
not
need
the
new
best flag.
flags.
Yeah, not the best flag planting. So I did plant my flag on Peterson too, though, before the season, so I feel okay with that one. But
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know what happens
Tough.
with X-Man. I think he's too established to do a stint in Maine.
Yeah, probably.
And he isn't playing well enough that unless you're willing to possibly.
I don't
lose a
think he'd
game
be
or
very
two.
good in Maine. I don't think he is
But if
he's too much of a role player to play in Maine, in my opinion. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that's fascinating. And there's no player in Maine who is a good analog for the guys he's supposed to be playing with, anyways.
Well, JD Davidson is a god in Maine.
Yeah, but there's no one on the Celtics roster who plays like JD Davison. Like JD Davison is like a score first point guard. So like
no,
Tillman,
he's an assist monster too. Are you kidding? Oh my god! I mean,
he had
it's not a
46 points
one-to-one for
last
sure,
night.
but I know, but he's averaging like 10 assists, I think.
Holy smokes!
I was you're totally right. It's not 1-to-1, but yeah.
I was wondering that there are career AAA baseball players, right? Can you think of?
Yeah.
I don't know if the G League is established enough and they're only newly compensated well enough. I wonder if JD Davison could in the same way that guys play until their mid-30s, if he would just be like a career G League guy.
I'm looking at most G League games played. So Ronaldo Major played in 400 total G League games. The most is Andre Ingram. Remember him from a few years ago? He got the Lakers call up after spending so many years. He played in 474 G League games.
That's the record for most G League games.
I think it's the record.
Dang. I'm in a text thread with a few friends, and we text each other sports and specifically NBA trivia. And that's too hard, right? No one that would ever get that, right?
474 has to be. Let me double check that that's the most. I'm pretty sure it's the most. Yeah, 474 is the most.
How many games are in a G League season?
That's a Googleable question. How many games in a G League season? 50 regular season games.
So that's 9 seasons of G League service, something like that.
Yeah, so Andre Ingram played from. Let's see, I had it up a second ago.
Jack, and while you're looking that up, Jack, for the listener, Jack and I split an Uber home because we live close enough together. If in the Uber you told me that we were going to be talking about Andre Ingram on this, I'd probably say like, sorry, dude, I need to go to sleep. I'm not wasting my time talking about Andre.
The Uber kind of smelled. I can't lie. Did you smell that too? It smelled like BO.
I was too focused on I'm doing Rat City. What's it called? The Rat List.
Rat list.
Okay. Thank you. I have driven Uber before when I was in grad school, when it's a perfectly noble thing to do as a part-time or full-time job. It's a hard thing to do. And actually the maps work pretty poorly. So sometimes it's kind of hard on the driver side.
Mhm.
Uber drivers who don't put the map so like the arrow points forward and they put the map north justified. What are you, fucking Magellan? Why are you reading the map like that? The dude missed the turn because he
Yes. Yeah.
didn't have the map operating.
Insane.
GPS technology, and I'm still rat listing here. And when I was a kid, I would watch animal programs and they'd be like, this is technology called GPS. And they'd pull out like a big brick of a thing and it would be a crappy little map that like barely worked. But now anywhere on planet Earth at all times, you can track where you are and how far you are from anything else on planet Earth. Why wouldn't you use it correctly? Like, how can that be
It's
your
wild.
vocation and you don't make the map point in the right direction? The first time I missed a street, when I drove Uber, one time I missed a turn. I drove a person trying to go from Southie to Somerville. I drove him to the airport. You
Mhm.
can imagine that I was pretty embarrassed and I made sure that never happened again. Unless this is this dude's first day in the job. How do you anyways? Thank you for letting me impromptu rat
The
list.
crazier ones to me are the people who like I've been in Ubers that like see a route on thing and say, no, I know a faster way. And I'm like, no, I don't like your faster way. I think the phone knows the fastest way. I don't think you are correct. And it tacked on like 15 minutes to our time. It was
That's-
ridiculous.
Well, also, and again, I've driven Uber before. Like this could
Yeah.
come across as like classist. I don't want it to be. Like I'm in support of these people. Part of the Uber promise is that like it's safe. You can't be
Yes.
abducted because the map is telling the route ahead of time. So yeah, when they go off script, it's like, that doesn't feel great.
No,
Like,
thank
that's
you.
not really not supposed to happen
You
that
see
way.
Noah's tweet today?
No.
She got stuck in so much traffic in her Uber that the Uber safety line called her to make sure that she was okay.
Oh, that makes me. I mean, I guess that means the system's working, but that makes me feel
Yeah.
weird reflexively.
Odd. I know.
Okay,
Anyways,
anything
all right,
else about the Celtics?
No. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Thank you for joining us for replacing Sam, and we'll throw it over to the rest of the show right now. All right. Thank you for tuning in for the recap. Let's jump over to your emails. A reminder, as always, you guys can email us at hbtcpod@gmail.com. That's hbtcpod@gmail.com. I almost forgot to do the email today. I didn't put it on the sheet. I completely forgot for whatever reason. But we got one email from Mr. RJ himself. It says, go point differential, go. Evening, folks. I confess I was interested in the NBA Cup for about 10 minutes or so tonight. Basically, the time the Knicks had a 30-point lead in the Magic. I was game surfing with Jay Geisenberg on playback and rooting for the point differential, not the Knicks, as he skipped around the games, and I noticed that most of them had one thing in common. Really bad offensive basketball. Teams were launching threes willy-nilly, rushing two-pointers, passing badly, and playing less up-tempo and more on crank. It was the sort of ball only Patriots fans could love. So now it's back to simply rooting for the Celtics to get back to kicking people's butts on their way to Larry and Banner 19, the way Red Auerbach intended. Go Celtics and be well, RJ. Back to the basics. No more cup.
Still devastated about the cup, but yeah, it is kind of funny. The last night of the cup is always a good time. Like I think that is the one takeaway that everyone can take from this is you are going to get entertaining games regardless of the actual outcome of said game, and the impact it has on the standings is a lot more fun. Like being able to watch a game and actively root for a team to try and win by 37 points is a unique experience exclusive to the NBA Cup, and that's fun. Last year when Chicago was here and the Celtics were trying to beat them by I think 23, 26 points, whatever it was a ton of fun and people were into it. So I don't think there's any reason to really hate on it. I understand if you like it's not your thing, but to be like, who cares? They should want to lose is still like unbelievably stupid. I wrote about it for Celtics
I don't
blog
get it.
last night, and I'm just kind of like perusing my comments for the first time. I I don't see as much hate because I think, oh, here we go. This tournament is for losers and suckers. Hope LeBum is sitting around with his faux championship ring from last year. Just one less game we'll have to play on our way to Banner 19.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know. People hate change, but
I hate change, but I like this.
I don't know, man.
And again,
People are
we
stuck
said
in
it
their
last
ways.
night. If you're pretending not to understand it,
You just
you're
haven't
lame.
tried. Yeah, you
Yes.
haven't tried hard enough. It's your own fault. It's no one's fault but your own. Anyways, let's jump over to the cup bracket. Let's see which teams did end up making it. And I will say, outside of the Celtics and Cavs, who have been the best teams in basketball this year, it is a pretty good reflection of like really good teams. Like this wasn't a year where random teams towards the bottom of the conferences made it. There's obviously a couple of them, but you look in the East, Bucks, Magic, and then Knicks, Hawks. Hawks obviously probably going to be the what's it called? Cinderella story of the bunch. Not exactly meant to be there. It's the clown in the soldier lineup. But then out west, you got Thunder, Mavs, and Rockets, Warriors, four of the best teams in the league. So this is going to be a really entertaining cup. The games are fun. Looks like we could get a very entertaining road to the finals. It's a good slate of games.
Now I get to hate watch the rest of the Eastern Conference. Like actually all of the teams in the Eastern Conference bracket can get bent. Hawks can get bent for being the Celtics. The Bucks can just always get bent. The Knicks can always get bent, and they can double get bent for not winning by 37. And the Magic can get bent because they sold against the Knicks.
I see. So who are you rooting for in the cup?
In the cup, probably Houston. I think if OKC wins, there's going to be a level of annoyance to that where people will really get on the OKC hype train. Houston is the most harmless answer.
See, I want the Hawks to win. I think it's fun. I always like rooting for the underdog. It is what it is, whatever. But they're a fun team. I think they're pretty objectively the worst team in the cup.
Mm-hmm.
And they're cool to root for, man. I think I like Dyson Daniels. I like Jalen Johnson. I like Risa Shea. I think they've got a fun team. And if nothing else, Trae Young is entertaining to watch win basketball games. I won't say play because he does some annoying things on the court, but when he's talking his shit, it's a fun time. So
at least we'll get to see him play the Knicks. He gets a charge out of playing in MSG, so I'll root for them there.
Exactly. So see what the Hawks can do. But I do have to take a quick break here to tell you guys about Game Time. However, Game Time is the best place, to buy tickets. I know Sam and I both use it whenever we are looking to get our tickets for the latest NBA action, latest NFL action, concerts. I say it every time because it's my favorite artist and I'm going to keep saying it. But no con tickets, Game Time was the play and continues to be the play. NFL games are not Sam's style, but my uncle and my brother and my sister and my cousin and I always go to NFL games every year. And I have encouraged everybody to use Game Time because my uncle didn't know. He didn't know the vibe, and now he does. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite team play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Let me share my screen here for the YouTube viewers. Audio listeners can get my play-by-play of the action. Let me open up Game Time for you guys, and we're going to go to Patriots, right? We're going to see how the Pats are going to be, looking in terms of game time, because even though they're not the best at the moment, obviously Drake May looks fun. Would be fun to see some games. Let's check out this Chargers game. Or actually, you know what? No, let's go to the Bills. Josh Allen's fun. He's probably the most entertaining player in the NFL right now. Let's see what things are looking like on Game Time right now. As you can see here, you can sort by price. You can source low to high and price, high to low, and you can search by discount, which is one of my favorite things. It shows you good deals around the stadium. It shows you stars with some of the best deals, some of the best prices. Obviously, you can sort by the pricing as well. So if you'd rather sit up top, you can go to this hot deal right here, 51. But me being afraid of heights, I don't know if I'd like it up at those upper stands at Gillette Stadium. So let's look a little bit lower. Nothing too crazy, though. I'm seeing these star deals. I see a 136. That's a pretty good deal. Another one of my favorite things about Game Time is you can actually click on the view. You see it on the side right here. You can see exactly what you're going to see from the view of your seat. I'm gonna have to go to this Bills game. It's gonna be a fun one to see Drake May live in action. That'll always be a good time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game Time. Let's also look at the NBA standings, see which teams are jumping up, see which teams are falling down. It's been a few days since we checked in. So Eastern Conference, Cavs still on top, game and a half above the Celtics at 19-3. Celtics 17-4, Magic in third place, Knicks in fourth place, Bucks in fifth, Hawks in sixth. Literally outside of the Celtics and Cavs, the next four teams are the NBA Cup teams. Credit the Hawks, man. The Hawks actually been playing good basketball this year. Like I said, they're fun, man. The Hawks are fun. They got a cool team. Dyson Daniels is great. Jalen Johnson is probably going to be an all-star conversation. I don't think he'll make it, but he should be one of those, like, should it be this guy or should it be this guy leading up to the final few forward spots. Heat 9-10 in seventh place. The play-in is the Heat, Bulls, Nets, Pacers. Nets have fallen off a little bit. They're 4-6 in the last 10, lost 3 in a row. Pistons, Raptors, Hornets, Sixers, Wizards wrapping it up. Sixers have won 2 in a row. Hornets have lost 6 in a row, and the Wizards are at up to 15 losses in a row. So not very good.
Celtics will get their hands on the Wizards in 11 days. 10 as you're listening to this, but 11 from right now. Okay, so Bucks, we're going to see if they're real on Friday. They've won 7 in a row. It'll definitely add some extra juice to that matchup. I think it's going to be an exciting game. I hope the Celtics come to play, because if they don't, it'll be pretty frustrating to see. But takeaway from looking at the standings, teams that are not in the playoff, like if playing in below, all ass. All sub 500 in their last 10, or 500 or below in their last 10. Very tough look.
Yeah. Not very good. Is Scotty Barnes back for the Raptors? Why are they winning?
Yes. He had a big game yesterday at 35 points.
I still think the Raptors are a better team than their record. I think they've been injured. I'm not saying they're going to make the playoffs or anything, but I think they could be better than some of the teams above them by the end of the season. So we'll see. I'm not selling my Raptors stock yet. That's a random hill to die on, but I'm going to stay there. Outside of that, nothing really stands out in these. It's pretty much the same as when we last checked. I like I said, continue to be impressed with the Hawks.
4 in a row.
Pacers, not great, but it is what it is. Western Conference, Thunder still up top. Rockets game and a half behind at 15-7. The Mavs are stringing something good together. 1-5 in a row, 9-1 in their last 10, up to third in the West. Grizzlies, 7-3 in their last 10, lost a bad one to the who was it last night? Who'd they play?
I heard about this.
Why am I blanking on who it was? Mavs. Grizzlies lost to the Mavs. It was the Mavs, and it was a little bit of Marcus Smart's fault. Not a great play by Mr. Smart. But Grizzlies in fourth, Clippers in fifth, 1-2 in a row, 8-2 in the last 10. Suns in sixth. Then Warriors have fallen down into the play-in. They've lost 5 in a row. Not very good. Nuggets, Lakers, Spurs rounding that out. Then Timberwolves, Kings, Blazers, Jazz, Pelicans at the bottom.
Same story as the East. Actually, it's a little different. 6 through 15, not looking great. The only team that's above
Not
500
lately.
in their last 10 is the Spurs. Aside from that, all 4-6, 5-5, very mediocre. The Warriors have fallen off a cliff. Kind of annoying that they played well enough to beat the Celtics that one game. Now all of a sudden they can't do anything right. Minnesota is a real head scratcher. Not that much of a head scratcher, because going into the season, I felt like the trade was going to kind of hurt them more than it hurt anybody else. I thought they would miss Cat's 3-point shooting ability. I didn't think Randall was a great fit there. And it's clear they're not quite at the same level that they were at last year. Sacramento's another team. It's like, oh boy, like, where do they go next? They got that one playoff year where they were the 3rd seed last year. They didn't make it. And now they're just looking up at everybody else.
Yeah. I mean, the Western Conference is tough, man. So I will say to every team in the West, like, I think deserves a little added context of they play in the Western Conference, so it's going to be difficult. But if anything, that just weeds out the best teams from the bad teams. And as of now, the Timberwolves not very good. And you know what I say to that? This is what I say to that. It's tough. You know, this is my feelings on the screen of how I think the Timberwolves are doing. Tough. Get what you get. The Spurs are fun though, man. Wemby's nasty. Stephon Castle looks real. They're gonna have some money to spend in the next few years too, so that they can be scary. Shout out to the Clippers too, another team that I don't think a lot of people thought would be very good this year, and they've just kind of like kept humming along. Their defense has been pretty good, and I guess if you really contextualize it, if you have James Harden and your defense is pretty good, you'll probably be a pretty good basketball team because those things don't usually coincide often. So the Clippers have the 5th best defense in the league, and they have James Harden leading the way in offense. And even though their offense is 19th, you've got a guy like James Harden who can make some stuff happen even at his advanced age. Who was leading them in scoring this year, Sam? Do you want to guess?
Who's this? Houston?
Clippers.
Well, it's probably not James Harden if you're asking me the
He's
question.
second.
Is it Norm Powell?
Mm-hmm. Norm Powell at 23.9 points. Big Zoo clocking in at 15. But they don't have a lot of good scorers. They have 5 guys averaging 10 points or more, and then they just do it by committee for the rest of the thing. So Clippers have been cool. Obviously the Rockets too. The Rockets are a wild storyline this season just because I don't think people expected them to be this good this quick.
Right.
And we'll talk about them more later. But yeah, Western Conference is shaking out oddly. The Lakers have not been very good lately. They have the what is it? If playoffs were determined by score differential, they'd be the what's this 15, 14, 13, 12 seed. So not very good.
Makes me upset. Nobody wants to see anything like that. I mean, LeBron doesn't look great lately. Had a very rough game the other day.
Has he made it 3 yet?
I don't think he's made it 3. I think he's flirting with Grant Williams territory where he has missed, I think, 19 threes in a row.
I'll look right now.
Oh, I thought you knew. I thought you were going to say. Yeah, he's just been really rough lately. Everything you see on Twitter is just him missing more and more threes. He had a very inefficient game the other day, and the Lakers continue to just kind of skid. They got the break speed off of them by Minnesota on Monday.
Yeah, 19 threes missed in a row for LeBron.
It's a real shame.
Very good.
Sucks. A lot of people are saying it's time to hang it up.
I will say, for all the missed threes, he has shot 8 of 16, 5 of 9, 12 of 19, and 4 of 12 is bad, but also assisting well. But everything you're seeing is they're just, he can't keep up. Like it is not even like he is too old, just he is in a rough spot offensively right now. And if he's not playing well, the Lakers probably aren't playing very good either. So yeah, it's a tough one to be in for LA.
JJ's been upset.
Yeah, shock.
He's consistently frustrated in these press conferences after the game. He wants
That
to see
would
his
be
guys
too.
playing harder, more connected.
I'd be mad too. Let's go to the bottom of the West here for the I almost said New York Pelicans. The New Orleans Pelicans, who
Pelicans
have been a complete and utter dumpster fire this season. For lack of a kinder, well, no, there are kinder terms, but they have not been good enough to draw kinder terms. Waived Elfrid Payton after he set the franchise record for assists in a game. Wild. But the more notable news comes from
might help
Shams.
us win. Get out of here.
Yeah. Shams, who said the Pelicans could waive Williamson and get it out of the way, but he doesn't anticipate it happening. He said, quote, there are ways where if the Pelicans were to waive him, they could potentially do that for free. However, I don't believe that's something that's on the table right now. Pelicans have no intention of waiving Zion Williamson. They want to figure out a way anyway to find the right people around him and do anything necessary to get him on the court. That's their number one objective. And I get it, right? Because like objectively, when he is on the court, the Pelicans are a good basketball team. You saw it all last season when he had a healthy year. You saw it in the play-in when he went down, and actually I think they won anyways, but then it didn't
No, they
matter.
lost to Lakers.
Yes, but then they won the next game when he was out is the point. So you get it. It is just a nice fail-safe to have to know, like, okay, if something doesn't work out, we can either trade him to a team that could take a chance on him or we can get rid of him ourselves. But it makes sense that they don't want to do it right now.
Yeah, especially when you're the Pelicans. You only get top-tier talent on your team every so often. And even though he's a joke and he can never be in shape and all that, he is an exciting player. He's somebody they picked first overall. He was one of the most hyped drafts prospects since LeBron. The fact that they've had him on their team is not something that they get to do often. You can't punt on this. It's very similar to how when all of the buzz was going on with the Bucks this year when they were really struggling at the gate and there was Giannis trade talk. It's like if you're Milwaukee, you really can't like move on that too quickly because you don't know when the next time you're going to get somebody that can truly impact your franchise in such a strong way is going to come through the door. Now, could be this year if they get Cooper Flag, who, by the way, would be a reach in the top 28 picks, but still. But you just can't punt on that. It is funny that like waving is a real topic of conversation. And it's not it's more funny
Well-
that it's like not a joke. Like it would make some sense because I don't know if I'm another team if I would want to really trade for him.
It is only a topic of conversation though because they can do it without losing money, right? Like if Zion didn't have a non-guaranteed contract, no one would even breach the topic of conversation for what it's worth. It
But
is
that's
not
what
like,
makes this funny is he's on a non-guaranteed contract as the biggest star to put on a Pelicans jersey since AD. Like
Yeah.
when they drafted him, it moved mountains for the franchise. They sold all these season tickets. And the way that this panned out was they couldn't trust this guy to be in shape and to be healthy. So they had to give him a non-guaranteed contract, which I don't think happens to guys that are in the rotation on NBA teams.
not often. No, it is a very unique situation. It's an odd spot to be in for sure. So I don't know, man. Very weird. We'll see what happens. But the other Pelicans thing is Ingram, quote, wants to go to a, quote, winning environment.
You and everybody else.
Shams said this as well. Said that Ingram, quote, wants to be part of a winning competitive environment. Noted that the Pelicans are either going to trade him or the two sides will agree on an extension. Trade feels more likely over the weekend. Brian Windhorst reported that the two sides are, quote, at a stalemate and, quote, can't agree on a contract extension. My response to that is, where is he going to go? Like, what team wants to trade for Brandon Ingram right now, Sam?
It's really tough because I think Brandon Ingram falls into that DeRozan category where he and DeRozan are players that fall into the fossil category where maybe 5-6 years ago they would be effective. And 5 to 6 years ago, the fossil category was the big guy that could play out of the post. They were kind of a dying breed. They were going extinct. They weren't really something you see in the NBA anymore. And you certainly didn't see them on winning teams unless it's like Jokic, who does literally everything from the post. It's not just go get a bucket. It's his equivalent of driving to the basket and doing driving kick. He just puts that much pressure on them that way. And if you're not those guys that can do that, then that is dead. You can't do that in the NBA. And if you're not somebody like, oddly enough, Jaylen Brown, that is incredibly effective at it and can do things outside of being a bucket getter from the mid range, you're probably not going to have a role on a winning team in the NBA anymore. I
Yeah.
say all this because I was thinking to myself, well, like what teams could be a Brendan Ingram away from taking a step towards contention? And there's not many because that doesn't really move the needle for anybody anymore. You saw it with Sacramento when they added DeMar this summer, and it was like, oh man, this might be a good signing for them. And they've come out, what are they, 9-12 out the gate? They're playing slow when they were a team that was really good at playing fast last year. When they were at their best, they were a fast team with Fox running everything. It just doesn't work. Like I was like, do the Pistons want him? Like, would that make sense? You swap Toby for him and throw in some more salary filler and you have like a little bit more offensive firepower. Like I think he would be an upgrade over Tobias Harris, but I don't know if he would be like a move mountains guy. I don't think so. I don't think it makes the Pistons that much better. I think Cade's great. And I think letting him play with pace is the most important thing they can do. And there's a lot of teams that are like in the middle class like that I don't think Brandon Ingram really does a whole lot for.
Yeah, it's an odd situation because I do think Brandon Ingram's a good player. I don't know how good of a role he could play on like a high level team, if that makes sense. Like you look around the league like, oh, what team would want to trade for Brandon Ingram? And the first one that came to mind for me was like, what if the Clippers wanted to replace some of the production that they lost with Paul George?
It's another good one.
But the problem there is you can't really make the salary up without trying trading one of the three guys, James Harden, Norm Powell, Zubac, and they're not trading Kawhi. I don't think that would happen. So I don't know how that would make that happen.
Would
They'd
Miami
have to
want
trade.
him?
They'd have to trade Derek Jones, and I don't think they'd trade Derek Jones and Terrence Mann, which they would have to do. Miami, maybe you'd have to worry about extending him, but I mean, it would help their offense. Again, what are you trading? Is the question. I'll pull it up in the Spot Track trade machine, which is very good. But like maybe you trade Duncan Robinson and Terry Rozier for Brandon Ingram and salary match. Like, I don't know. Jeremiah Robinson Earl. Like, I don't know how you would match a salary. It's tough to match salary there without trading one of the top guys. Like Jordan Hawkins would have to be. Yeah, I don't think I can make it happen. I'm like trying to do it here. Look, for YouTube viewers, just to get an understanding of what I'm doing. Like, you can't do it with just one of these guys in the trade because then it doesn't work for the Heat. But you can't do it with both of them because you'd have to trade like multiple large salaries from the Pelicans, and they're not trading Herb Jones or Trey Murphy in a deal. So I don't think that would happen.
Are the Spurs a team that might poke their head out and be like, what if Brandon Ingram is helpful for us? We're playing better than we expected. But I think the answer still remains no, because he would keep the ball away from Wemby and also Chris Paul too much.
I'd rather just develop Devin Vassell at that point. Like
exactly. They have guys that they've drafted that you just rather would see get the minutes, the reps, all that.
What if the Bucks did something?
It would have to be like Middleton. I can see that because they have moments where they let him cook.
So Middleton for Ingram would fail because you've exceeded the allowable income. The Bucks would have to. They can't do it because the Bucks can't aggregate in a trade. So cannot trade for Brandon Ingram for Chris Middleton. So no for the Bucks. I don't think the Hawks would do it because they've got enough forwards that obviously the Celtics know, and Nets, I don't think they would do it. I think they're going to sell. Hornets, I think, don't want to win at the moment. Pacers, I couldn't figure out a financial way to make it happen. I don't think the Pistons would want to extend Ingram. Cavs are winning too much. Bulls don't want to win. Heat can't do it. Bucks can't do it. I don't think the Knicks could make it happen with players they want to trade either. Maybe the Magic. Maybe you're like, oh, let's get another scorer, but I think you'd rather get a guard in there. If Philly gets desperate, I think they're a second apron team, though, so I don't think they can combine salaries.
Would you rather have Ingram or Paul George if you're Philly?
Paul George still.
So where does Ingram fit?
Next to Paul George, but you would have to trade like boom. I don't even know if you could make this happen. Yeah, you can't make it financially happen. You'd have to trade like 5 different players, and then that would be a mess for the Pelicans. If Sixers can't do it financially speaking.
Are
Raptors
the Nets a team that buys like they've pulled off lately, but like they could be like, what about
if you're the Nets, you need to get Cooper Flag or you need to get like a top prospect. It's not worth getting Brandon Ingram. Wizards no, Raptors. Would the Raptors be weird? They have a history of it. they have a history.
They just keep setting themselves back.
Yeah, interesting. I don't know what that money would look like. Like if you're the Raptors, do you do Bruce Brown and like Kelly Olynyk for Brandon Ingram? It works. I don't know why either team would do it. Well, I mean, if you're the Pelicans, you get back 2 rotation players, and if you're the Raptors, you run Emmanuel Quickly, RJ Barrett, Brandon Ingram, Scotty Barnes, Jakob Poeltl. Actually, not a terrible team. It's just a little weird. I don't know why they would do it, but if you want to bring talent to Toronto, I guess maybe. I don't know. Brandon Ingram's a weird spot, man. We don't have to go through every Western Conference team too, but the Pelicans are in an awkward position. Speaking of the West, though, the Rockets are also a hot team in trade talks because they have salary and they've been good. However, 2 tidbits. One, on the Hoop Collective, Brian Windhorst reported the Rockets consider young stars Tyrese and Amen Thompson untouchable. We heard that. However, Tim McMahon explained Houston is taking a much wider stance on trades. I've just spent some time around the Rockets and was told by more than one person very, very firmly, very adamantly, they will not change the core of that team this season. Maybe they make a fringe rotation type of deal, but they are going to play the season out with the core of that team is what they are saying right now. Also, Michael Scotto noted Sengun is unlikely to be traded, but the same cannot be traded. The same cannot be said for Jalen Green. Was floated in trade rumors last season. However, it does sound like the Rockets aren't going to make massive changes to their squad. That said, that doesn't mean they couldn't make, like Tim McMahon said, a fringe deal, and they have enough guys who they could trade to make a fringe deal happen. My favorite trade deadline move is still Cam Johnson to the Rockets. I think that'd be sick. I think it'd be a perfect fit. Give them a little bit more offense. That's my Jack Windy Fingers needs to happen move.
Yeah, I feel like the Rockets are in the right mindset, though. Like, your team is playing well. They're playing with good chemistry. They're playing good defense. And I feel like when you're overachieving, you don't necessarily want to shake it up. But at the same time, I understand why you would be like, we have to sell high on certain guys. Because that is what makes, honestly, a good front office, is if they know when the right time is to make a move. Your team very rarely gets left in, like, the dust of just having held on to somebody too long. You don't want to do that. But I think Houston fans really like this team. I don't think they want to see anybody get taken out of the fold at this point. I think your Cam Johnson idea makes a lot of sense. I think he is a perfect role player type to compete with a team of good scorers, to be a safety valve guy on the perimeter who also has some creative ability offensively and some good size. I don't hate it, but I think they, again, are on the right track. I don't think if you're Houston, you should want to blow anything up.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff Green, Jock Londale, Jayshawn Tate, money works for Cam Johnson. Throw in a first round pick, we move. Like that is the easiest trade I have seen all day. If you want to swap out Jock Londale or one of those guys for Steven Adams, that works too, because he's not playing a ton. Neither is Londale. Like, I just think he'd be a good fit on that team. So we'll see what happens with the Rockets heading into the deadline. But I think that about wraps up that. You want to do the rat list, Sam? What you got?
Yeah, so I meant to do this on the last show. I'm kind of happy I held on to it. This is like a very retrospective rat list, but rat list to the people that were going back in my Celtics blog comments last Monday. So last Monday, the Celtics did, I want to say the Cavs. No, the Clippers, rather. Sorry, the Clippers.
I can't change the screen to rat list for whatever reason. So if you want to do it, feel free.
Let me see.
It's not working for me. It's not letting me change screens.
It's so easy. I don't know why you couldn't do it, but whatever. Anyways, I wrote halftime hot takes for Monday's game against the Clippers. Kristaps was his first game back. And usually when I write these articles, they're for people that are looking to pass the time and like laugh for a second about stupid shit that I think is funny. Or, I mean, I usually will provide some insights too. But in my comments section, I usually have no replies. This one, I'm like, why do I have 7 replies? And it was because people were going at me in the comments because my title was facetious. I said, how did the Sixers lose by 30 to these guys? Mind you, the Celtics were beating the brakes off the Clippers at halftime. They were up $1 billion. The first reply goes, because the 76ers are bad, obviously. They at least had the worst record in the league. Not sure if they still are the absolute worst, but they are close. Their stars are unreliable, blah, 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 giving me an education on the 76ers. The 76ers are straight trash. They could lose to anybody by a lot. Somebody replies to this guy and goes, that you had to explain why suggests he has little knowledge of other teams or interest in doing a little homework before he writes. Another person, same guy replies to himself. He goes, please pardon my sexist assumption that quote unquote Sam is a guy. I should have used the writer. My flimsy excuse is getting home at 3 a.m. after a 300-mile drive. Clearly not thinking clearly. Somebody else replies, goes, the fact that you ruthlessly attacked this person's integrity without considering or asking if maybe the title could have been a little tongue-in-cheek. Yes, it was. It was a troll. But felt the need to apologize vehemently for assuming their gender is a testament to the society we live in. You criticize the guy for not doing a little homework before he writes, but can't take 20 seconds to type Sam LaFrance Celtics blog into the old Google machine. Just an extremely bizarre thread on my Celtics blog.
I mean, I tell you all the time, you do too many bits and people are not going to understand when you're being joking or not. I literally tell you constantly because everything, like I would say 60% of the shit that comes out of your mouth is fake. And so
Well, it's
it
not
is.
fake. It's like a jab at the 76ers, which other people understood. Someone goes, yeah, I took this as LOL Sixers as rather than an actual question of how they could have lost.
I'm just saying it's tough to blur people who don't listen to your show every day. I can understand why it is difficult to tell when you're being serious and when you're being not.
Got to blur the lines.
No, you don't. If you're trying to actually write about and cover the team, you're supposed to not blur the lines. Half the shit that comes out of your mouth isn't real, then what the fuck are people supposed to expect? Oh man. I had a good rat list today, but I don't remember what it was. I thought it was like something I saw on my walk today or yesterday. I don't remember what it was.
How was the
Shit, now I feel
walking
bad.
then? Did you walk to practice today?
Yeah, I always walk to practice. Unless I'm gonna be late, I'll always walk there. I'm debating whether or not I want to walk all the way to the garden today because I'm already at 5,000 steps and 4 miles is just a lot. And I don't know if I want to leave that early to do that in the time.
The time is what makes it tough. You
yeah.
hate, like, even when I run, it sucks the amount of time that it takes out of your day sometimes. Like, if you go for a
Yeah.
long run, it's like an hour. It's like, man, I
I
just lost
did
so
like
much time.
I walked to the garden the other day and I wasn't tired at all. It was a beautiful walk. Like I thoroughly enjoyed it, but it took like an hour 45 and I had to leave my house that much earlier when I could just leave my house at like it took me an extra hour onto my commute, which again, it was fine. I enjoyed the walk, but I just don't know if I want to do that or get some work done or just relax a little today. So we'll see. And I'm already let me see. Let's check my steps today, shall we? I am at almost 5,000 today. So I only need 5,000 more. And the walk to the garden is about exactly like 10 or 11,000. So I could take the T some, walk the rest. Maybe I'll take the T somewhere into the city and then just walk around downtown a little bit and then go to the garden. Maybe that'll be my plan.
Yeah, I would vehemently recommend to just walk, but I do understand I don't want to just lose like an extra X amount of minutes of my time.
Yeah, I might do a little writing, update the injury report, stuff like that, edit this. So
Yeah,
we'll see what I do.
very
Maybe I'll
understandable.
change the walk too. See, the way it works for me is like I need to not entertain myself because I like throwing a podcast, I'll be fine. But like the part of it that I enjoy is like when I walked the other day, I got to like see new streets, see stuff like this. I'm like, oh, this is cool. This is cool. So this is cool. So I don't want to walk the same route every day because I know I will get bored of it. So I don't know how I'm going to switch it up or what I'm going to do to switch it up, but I know if I just walk the same route to the garden every day, I'm going to get bored and not want to do it. So I'm like actively thinking ahead to like, okay, I'll walk here. Maybe I'll walk into Cambridge, walk around there and then go that way. Maybe I'll go up by the B line or something like that. So we'll see what I decide to do today. But yeah.
Did you have a favorite thing you discovered on your last walk?
I don't know. Discovered Beacon Hill, very aptly named. I'm 3 miles in. I get fucking 45 degrees up. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Beacon Hill's no joke, man. It when they say hill, they mean hill.
There's
They mean,
nothing worse than running up a hill, man. It's awful. I
that
don't know
shit
how
was
people do
whack.
that daily.
Yeah, I was not thrilled at Beacon Hill. I will say though, when I was walking yesterday, I took a cool picture of the skyline because the sun was like beginning to set at the time, and I turned around and this was just. I don't want to put it up on the screen, but that's fucking terrible. You can't see that shit.
You took a picture of the sunset?
Well, it was like the city skyline and stuff. Yeah, it's cool looking. You're
All
a real
right.
piece of shit. You know that?
Why? Why am I?
Because you when you've talked to somebody long enough, you can understand when they're like they know they want to make fun of you, but you just can't let people be happy with what they do with their lives. If you think it's stupid, you feel the need to like outwardly express that you think it's stupid or dumb or something, and it's fucking whack. Just be a normal person. You're an asshole.
I think I only do that to
Dick.
you. I think I'm cordial to everybody else. It's part of the show.
Yeah, that's because they don't know you. They don't actually know you. I know that you're an asshole. They don't get the pleasure.
Anti-rat list. The guy on Reddit that had the 6 Malik Fitz jerseys. I was on Reddit yesterday, just kind of poking around, looking for Celtics ideas, different things to write about, whatever. And one of the top posts on the Celtics community was someone that had shared their collection of Malik Fitz jerseys. I will pull it up, Jack, if you would like to take Matt off of the
I
screen.
saw it. I'll take Matt off the screen.
Here it
What
comes.
what a collection to have.
We
Shout
have
out Malik Fitz.
we have every edition of Celtics jersey from the 21-22 season with all Malik Fitz.
They signed.
I think they're signed. This one's signed, and I think the
Yeah.
top middle one is signed, which is pretty cool. And the guy actually replied to my tweet because I just had to share it. This is all of his Malik Fitz basketball cards. A lot of them are signed.
Was he a fan of like the college?
I have no idea. People
Malik Fitz.
replied to him asking why. There's nothing. He
What
didn't
did he
reply
say?
to the
Did he-
Reddit post.
Interesting. Well, I will say Malik Fitz went to the University of South Florida. So if he went there, that is a very unique school. Like not a lot of players probably go to that school. And so I guess maybe you could contextualize it that way, but it is an interesting choice.
Respect,
that
though.
he did that. I need to ask you a question. Thoughts on Spotify Wrapped?
I like Spotify Wrapped.
Wow.
It's not a lot of fun for me.
I thought you were gonna hate it.
No, I like it. I think it's fun. I think it's like always fun to like look back at a year of like, especially like music, like the different music you listen to throughout the year, like what was really something that you enjoyed, and you're like, oh yeah, I forgot. Like I was really in a stretch of listening to this or that. Why do you not like it?
No, I thought you wouldn't like it because you hate stuff that people like.
No, I don't hate everything that people like.
Yes, you
I
do.
hate when people are
Don't do
annoying
that.
about stuff. If you ask me in like 2 days, I might be like sick of seeing everyone's Spotify Wrapped. Like maybe not everybody cares about what your Spotify Wrapped was, but I enjoy seeing mine.
I see. Okay.
Noah Khan at the top of yours, Jack.
Of course.
The people that use Apple Music are real losers. I'll tell you that
It's
because they don't
a
get to
bit
enjoy
odd.
this.
Well, no, they have their own thing. They have one.
Oh, they do. Of course they do.
Apple just copied. Let me guess. Do you have your Spotify app? Can I guess yours?
Sure.
I don't think it'd be too difficult. Well,
not
I know
difficult at all.
I know Josh Gambino's one.
It's number one, not even close. Top 0.001%.
That's crazy.
It's just like always like because I just throw stuff on while we do pods too, so that like factors into it.
Sure. Is Chance the Rapper on there?
Let me see. I gotta go to the very, very end of this so I can see.
Uh-huh.
All right, so Chance the Rapper is 5.
Okay. Maybe this isn't as easy as I thought. Is it like Drake or
Drake
do you
is
not like
3.
Drake? Okay. I don't think you listen to Kendrick Lamar. I'm trying to think of like J.
I
Cole.
think
Is he
Kendrick
on
Lamar's
there?
annoying.
Is J. Cole on there?
J. Cole is not on there, but that's a good guess. I'm actually surprised J. Cole's not on there, to be honest with you. 2
I'm
more.
on the right track. I know I'm on the right track. I just don't know. This is not the genre I listen to as much anymore. So is Kanye on there?
Kanye's on there.
Is
2.
he 2 or 4? 2.
Which I'm surprised by also.
Yeah. What would be 4? Like not like Jay-Z. I don't think you listen
Not
to
Jay-Z.
Am I overthinking this? Is it obvious? Post Malone. Post Malone on there.
Post Malone is not number 4. I'll give you 3 more guesses before I'll tell you before it gets stale.
I don't like. I know the genre. I'm on the right genre, right? It's
Yes.
rapper. I just don't
Yes.
remember. It's not like Jack Harlow. It's not. I'm like
Not
looking
Jack
through
Harlow.
mine. Not Kyle, right?
Who's that?
Okay, never mind. It's
Came
definitely
out
an
with a new
obvious
album
one.
recently.
Is it Amine? I don't know. Just tell me. I don't know who it is.
It is Tyler the Creator.
Yeah.
Actually, I like the new album. It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. You want to guess mine? You're
Noah
not. You're
Khan?
not. Yeah, you're not gonna know the rest, but you can try. Noah Khan is 1. Yes.
Is Luke Bryan in there?
Well, okay. Time out. What? Why?
Thinking of whites with guitars.
Noah Khan's not a country artist, first of all.
All right.
Whites with guitars is crazy. No, Noah Khan's not on there. You're not gonna know. You're not gonna know two of them. So after you,
Not
if
gonna
you
know
guessed,
two of them.
no. My number 2 is Nick D, who you don't know who that is. And number 5 is
Okay.
Connor Price, and they have an album together that I listened to a lot this year. So they are both
Never
on
heard
there.
of
But
them.
yes.
Is
Number
Jack Harlow on there?
No, he was my number 1 a few years ago, but he's no longer.
Yeah, I know
there.
you used to be a big fan of his.
So my number 4 is somebody I guessed for you.
Is this something we have in common?
No.
Is it Kyle?
No. It's pretty basic.
It's Kyle.
It's pretty basic. You know Kyle. You know I Spy?
Yes, I
that's
do.
Kyle.
Okay. Someone you guessed for me.
The basic of all basic.
Is it? Oh, Kendrick.
Technically, no. Technically white with a guitar. If you want to
Post
deep it.
Malone.
It is Post Malone, but I think it's only because my top song is Dial Drunk, which is Noah Khan with Post Malone. So I think that inflated that. The third one is a woman.
Is it Taylor Swift?
No.
Oh. Is it
it
Sabrina
was
Carpenter?
It is Sabrina Carpenter. She is 3, yes. Bangers.
Look at me,
Espresso. I think Espresso was my top non-Noah Khan song. That, you know what? That's my next question. How far down my top songs list was my first non-Noah Khan song?
Oh, how do you see all? Oh, you have to go on the playlist. Okay, we're gonna do this for me too.
The playlist is number 1. Like the playlist shows them in order of like your favorite songs.
Yes. Okay, let me look at this. Oh, all right.
That means it's higher up than you thought. So what is it, like 4 for you?
It's 5. I mean, no, I'm sorry, it's 6. 6.
Mine is also 6. Mine is just top 5 Noah Khan, then 6 is Espresso.
Wow.
By Sabrina Carpenter.
This is because I is Best Interest by Tyler the Creator. Number 6. Would you like to guess my number 1 song? I don't think you'll get it.
What album is it on?
It's the new one, so you won't get it.
I don't know.
It's Lithonia. Good song.
Was Sweatpants in the top 5?
It is. Yeah.
Good one. That's a good one. That's one of my favorites.
Number 4.
That Freaks and Geeks and Bonfire, like
Freaks and Geeks is 5.
I listened to
my favorite.
Freaks and Geeks is good. I listened to the Camp album like on repeat in high school. Like that was
Fire
like
album.
if I had Spotify rap
all
band,
fire. No misses.
over and over and over. Yeah. I'm surprised. I will say I'm surprised Benson Boone and Quinn 92 didn't make my top 5, but I think that's because I only started listening to them later in the year. Do you know how many minutes of Childish Gambino you listened to this year?
23,000.
How many minutes of music did you listen to?
I probably listen to a lot because I just like throw it on at work. I'll throw it on like
Oh my
when I
god.
drive.
I only
when I
had
run.
18,000 minutes of total listening to music this year.
Yeah, I don't know how to like look at the total minutes.
It's one of the
I
first
also
things
listen to
it's
20,000 minutes of podcasts.
It's on that final slide.
The final slide. Okay.
Yeah. Your total minutes. Of
Oh,
music.
95,000 minutes.
Jesus Christ. That's ridiculous.
We do a lot of podcasts.
Yeah, and I don't get how you listen to music when we talk. It's probably why you think I'm talking about the wrong team sometimes, because you're not fucking paying attention.
It's not true.
You did it today?
No, I don't think the music has anything to do with that. It'll be because like when you asked me that, you had mentioned Marcus, so I was like trying to figure out what happened.
That's not even what I'm referencing, but that's funny.
No, because I thought you were talking about the Rockets and you were talking about the Clippers.
I see. Yeah. Mine was 6,700 minutes of Noah Khan. I saw someone on Twitter be .0000 like everything of Noah Khan too, and it was like 20,000 some minutes. Like you're charging me now, and I think that's insane.
It drop step dunked.
I know.
Post
that said, if you have us in your top,
if you have
podcast,
us,
let us know. Yeah, I always forget about that. Is Spotify for podcasters wrapped out? Wrapped for podcasters, Spotify. Let me see.
Oh, like we get like a recap.
Yeah, because if we do, we can just watch it here, and that'd be fun. Let me see. Jesus. All right, this is irritating. Spotify for. You ever get a web page that just doesn't load quick? Like I clicked on this and it's still just loading. That's ridiculous, man.
Very annoying.
I do want to watch it on here though, and since this is the part of the pod where people tune out anyways, I don't care that we're dragging on. So let me take a look. The people who are listening to the Rat List enjoy us babbling. Okay, yeah, it is here. Do we want to watch it on here?
Yes. I'll take the overlay off.
All right, let me get in here and pause it. Okay,
Unless it's like
let's see.
insulting to us. It's like you
Hopefully
guys are
not.
actually worse than last year.
I know. Let's see. Here we go. Was this our first full year of the three a week schedule?
Yes.
I think it was 3 a week schedule plus the game recaps.
Yes.
All right, let's see. Okay. I need to share a new tab. Hold up. Why is my computer going to blow up? What's happening? Why?
Oh, it's loading.
It's just counting upwards for me. Okay. Yay. I wish there was music. Is there no music? It's just silent.
It's just us talking.
All right, let's see. Let's go. Fans were really loving your show in 2024. Thanks.
Imagine if they're like, you guys sucked. Like nobody actually liked us.
You took it to a whole new level. That is really
Oh,
good.
very
That is
good.
really good. Plus 292% listeners this year.
Advertisers, take a look.
Yeah, look at
Yeah.
this. How do I go to the next? Oh, I scroll. 252%
Yep.
streams, pretty good. 152% followers. Oh yeah, you can follow on Spotify. So if you don't follow us on Spotify
Yeah.
yet, just
Just do so, please.
click that button. What's next? Is that it? Oh no. I was like, wait, is that the whole wrap? 79% of your list. What does this mean? Wait, what is 79% of your listeners discovered you this year? I was
Oh,
like,
okay.
where's the rest of the sentence? That's actually a lot.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
79% of us. Okay. Okay. Your fans have a clear favorite. It's just like they fuck with Sam more. Episode 507. Yeah, that was our most
Yeah, that
popular
makes
episode by
sense.
far. Celtics are champions. Yeah, that tracks. It was streamed 684% more than your average episode. Yeah, that tracks. Ever wondered who your audience is? Of course. Let's break it down. Oh, by age group. Wait, that's actually surprising to me. 35 to 44.
Pretty well spread, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Hey, shout out
We
to the
appeal to
55 plus
all
kid.
ages.
Listeners ages 55 plus grew the most by 339%. Okay. Shout out. Let's see. Where in the world have you been? 2024, your show traveled the globe. You were listened to in 52 countries. United States was your top country. Shocker. Let's see. Fans have a great taste. Obviously, other than your show, they also loved the
Bill Simmons
Bill
podcast.
the
Joe
Joe
Rogan.
Rogan. Yikes. Okay. Pardon my take. That
Very
tracks.
good.
Tracks. Low post tracks. Okay. Music.
EMP fire.
What did our listeners listen to? Rap, pop, and hip hop? Sure. Audiobook genre. What the fuck?
I didn't even know this was a thing.
Audiobooks. They didn't just listen. 76% of your audience watched video on Spotify.
Do we still do that?
We did it for like 2 episodes, so I don't know what they were listening to. Shout out to your biggest fans for keeping at the top of your game. You're a top 10 podcast for 909 fans. That's pretty good. I will say top 10 is a lot. I think a lot of people only listen to a few podcasts. So
yeah, I only had 4.
So I only had 3. You're a top 5 show for fans for 505. That's more significant. That's pretty good. You're the number 1 show for. Do you want to guess? I'm gonna say 30 fans. 30.
15.
Number 1 show for 91 fans. Shout out you guys.
Yeah,
That's
shout out to
sick.
the 91.
If you're one of the 91 people, that if you are, that's a lyric. Was that Freaks and Geeks?
Yes.
Yes. If you're one of the 91 people who we were number 1 on Spotify or Apple, tweeted us or comment or email us. Show us. Let us see. Your fans listen to you 7.3 times more than your other listeners.
Everybody else
your top fans. Yeah. What else is there? What kind of creator are you? Uh-oh. What is that? Is he gonna attack us? What does that mean? What is happening? Oh. publishing frequency. Oh, wait. We're all around. We're the storyteller,
Guess we kind of have to tell a story of what's going on.
I suppose. I don't know what that means. Your fans have entered the conversation. Your average podcast rating was 4.8. That's pretty good. I'll take 4.8. How about them Celtics? What is that it? Thank you for giving people something to talk about, but it's not over yet. Okay. Thank you. Cool.
Thank you, everybody.
That's dope. I think that'll do it, though. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to How About Them Celtics here on Spotify and on Apple and all that. Sam, take it out.
Yeah, thank you very much for listening and watching. Make sure you
I
subscribe.
can't take the rat off the screen again, by the way. It's not
That's
letting me
fine.
change the whatever it's called, the branding.
We're back. Make sure you subscribe, leave a like, comment, tell us what you thought of Celtics Pistons, tell us if we were in your Spotify Wrapped, and so on. Make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss any of our daily uploads, new stuff. Every morning, game recaps, the morning after each game, full pods, Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, other videos in between to keep you up to date with all things Celtics. As you just saw, we're also on Spotify as well as Apple, so follow us there. Leave a 5-star review. We would appreciate that very much. Get that 4.8 up a little bit. You can also email us, hbtcpod@gmail.com. You saw we read RJ's email today. We always read your emails. hbtcpod@gmail.com. I'm sure you got something to say about our Pistons. You can find us on socials at How About Them C's for Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Facebook is just the name of the podcast. All streams are there. They're on YouTube. They're on Twitter. Jack's Twitter is Jack's Money NBA. Mine's at Sam LaFrance NBA. It's it for us. Bye.
Taco, come on.
Taco's having some fun here.
That is bogus. These guys are ridiculous.